Hello and greetings to you all. Welcome to this broadcast. Brief one nonetheless, but I can't help but speak to the bigotry of the US and the Côôns who they have at work for them right now. As you join them, whether you can see, you can also hear clearly. We know we just got through with the World Track and Field Championships, the World Championships, and out of that, the young man Noah Lyles, who runs for the USA, and who promised he was going to win 3 gold medals in the 100 meters male, 200 meters, and the relay 4x1. He actually did so. And in an interview, he spoke to, thank you, Kelvin, thank you for the feedback. In an interview, he spoke to how he felt about, or when he compared the pressure he's under as an international athlete to function at the World Championships, and how hard it is to be called a world champion in athletics or in that field. And then he said, in the USA, you have these basketball players who are called world champions. And he said, champion of what? The USA? And boy, they were mad. And the Côôns have been unleashed, like Stephen A. Smith and the others who are around the NBA, like Charlemagne the God, as he calls himself, a perfect Côôn, who went as far as labeling Noah Lyles the donkey of the day. And I want to speak to this from a wider perspective, because some of you, this is beyond sports. This is the US's bigotry at work. This is to prove to you, as you join this broadcast, how these people function. And I'm saying this is beyond sports. They would lie to you square in your face and tell you something is this, and you dare not question it. Because if you only take the risk of challenging it, then they unleash what are called Côôns. And they attack you. And have you noticed? Have you all noticed that Noah Lyles, being an African descendant, probably Hebrew, who knows, as you call him, a black man, is attacked by whom? Who are the leaders in attacking this boy? Y'all tell me, please. I'm saying to you tonight, I'm here to speak to you about a bigger picture. Who do you see attacking Noah Lyles when he said that? Who are the main ones who've launched the attack against him? Who? Because this is tied to the church as well. I hope y'all are getting where I'm going with this. The black guy said in Noah Lyles, listen, NBA, and I'll get to that. NBA, you champion of what? The United States? How are you called a world champion? And who did they unleash? Kevin Durant, Booker from Suns. They began to take jabs. But Greg Popovich in 2010, a white guy, coach of San Antonio Spurs, said, how can you call us world champions when we don't play anywhere else in the world? Oh, the Côôns didn't go then. Damian Lillard, all of them are going down this boy's throat. Well, I'm here to speak tonight because I want you to see the bigger picture. The USA, like England and other places, would look you square in the eye. Apostle Lambert, good to see my brother Shalom. They would look you square in the eye and lie to you. And you have to, if you want to survive, repeat the lies of these people, or you are attacked. See what they did to Kyrie Irving with the situation with those people, and he said you have to know your history. So where did Noah Lyles go wrong when he said that he is a world champion competing against everyone who A, have to qualify by timing? You can't just show up at the World Championships. You have to meet a qualifying standard. What's the qualifying standard for the NBA? So let's get to the NBA then. Since Charlemagne the God, and I wouldn't even wait for tomorrow. This thing has me so upset. Charlemagne, who's called Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Show, attacked Noah and give some of the most stupid reasons as to why Noah was wrong that I'm about to address tonight. Charlemagne said that the fact that the best teams in the world, listen to him now, the best teams in the world are found in the NBA in reference to basketball. Hence, this should be called world champion. They do not play every club in the world. They don't have qualifying standards to meet to get to this world championship. But because the best players, he said, in the world go to the NBA to play basketball, that means if you win a championship, you are supposed to be called the world champion. And they said that Noah is the donkey now. But let me present this to you all, even in an even clearer manner, if I can. The NBA, when you check encyclopedias, when you check their constitution or how they structure the organizational structure and the definition of who they are and some description, the NBA is the National Basketball Association. Like the NFL is a National Football League. The NHL is a National Hockey League. The NBA, National Basketball Association, was born out of the ABA, I think is American Basketball Association. And then the National Basketball League, and they merged, and they then formed the National Basketball Association. When you check the encyclopedias, and you check the NBA description of itself, it is the body that governs basketball in the United States of America. Y'all hear me? It's the body that governs professional basketball in the United States of America. The national, this is so stupid to even have to say this to people, but Charlemagne and others and those who jump in saying yeah, they're right, because Noah should not have said what he said. The National Basketball Association, NBA, represents something in a nation. That's why it's called national. Which nation? The United States of America alone. How can you be called a world champion if the National Basketball Association holds a championship and they govern basketball in the nation of the USA, and they added Canada in Toronto, but basically the USA, because the Raptors have to be registered with the National Basketball Association. So there's one team outside of the USA, and that's Toronto. The Raptors come under the authority of the National Basketball Association. And you telling people that they must accept that somebody who plays in a National Basketball Association, when they win that championship for the USA alone, they must be called world champions in basketball. Okay, so let me help you then. The FIFA World Cup, soccer, football, you have to qualify over a period of years. That's why Guyana could never be there. In decades, they won't get there. You have to qualify to get to play at the highest level, which is called the World Cup Finals, because that's where the best 30 teams or so would go, and they have to compete. Then when you win, you call the world champion because you competed against teams against the world. Gerald says, do you think that Noah said that to represent anybody, or basically magnifies accomplishments? It magnifies accomplishments, and he's right to do so, because when you compare his accomplishments, Gerald, with the garbage the NBA these young cats are spewing, Noah is right, because Noah competed against the whole world. Every sprinter in the world has to compete to meet a particular time, and if you qualify, then you get to the World Championships. He competed against the world, so he's right to highlight his accomplishments. He's absolutely right. Because his world championship and Sha'Carri Richardson's world championship in 100 meters can't be compared to the National Basketball Association. It is nonsensical, it is grossly stupid, but it's more so bigoted in its nature. The USA wants you to say that, listen, you are telling us that when the National Basketball Association Championship comes around and the Lakers win or the Nuggets win, we must call them world champions. Though you know it's stupid, you must say it. That's what I'm talking about the bigotry here. World Series in baseball, exactly. You've got teams in the USA alone playing. And you must call the New York Yankees world champions. Or you don't have sense according to Charlemagne the God. Because you saying that how can you compare, I'm telling you again, at FIFA level, when you play soccer, you play football, every team in this world, every federation, you have to qualify. You play knockout in CONCACAF and these different territories, then you qualify based on how you perform to go to the FIFA World Cup. When you win at that level, you've beaten the whole world. Look at these daft nitwits who want me to sit and accept that Michael Jordan is a world champion. That's why, if you don't know, when they used to send the college players to the Olympics, they were battered. And then Jordan came up with, and others with that. They said, no. We can't have the USA be beaten like that. Let us go play. They went to the Olympics and the dream team dominated. So they have the right then to say that they're the best in the world. Under those circumstances, I can respect that. Because you competed against other teams who had to qualify to get there. See the point? But I must sit back and accept the USA's bigotry? No. Even the UEFA, the European League, they say when you win, you've won the European League. Because only teams from Europe participate in the European League. And that's football again. I'm not accepting that garbage. You're not a world champion if you're in the USA. So Charlemagne said, he took it further now. Charlemagne the God, this talk show host, said that, or the radio broadcast, the host said, hey, Michael Jackson, he said, sang a song called We Are the World. And he said even Michael knew that the US is the world. Do y'all hear the extent to which these morons will go for you to swallow a lie? I'm saying to you that I will stretch it tonight to show you how the bigotry works. The African has told us, because they remember their experience and they're now speaking out against it like never before. They said the white man came to us and told us that the angels are white and the devil is black. I want y'all to hear me. The missionaries who went to preach Jesus in Africa told the Africans that the angels in heaven are white, the devil is black. And they said whiteness is not the color of your skin. Real white. I see donkey Stephen King. Donkey just as Stephen King is a donkey of the century. He has an issue with how I speak. He has an issue with what I say, but he follows me as closely as ever. Stephen King he should be called the donkey of the century. Donkey Stephen is here, and whenever you come on my page, I may take time to highlight how stupid you are. You follow me so closely, but you hate how I speak. You are the crowned donkey. You should be called a donkey. So they went to Africa. They told the African people, listen, the angels are white. Jesus is white. You're black. And the devil is black too. And then they said, we're white. Though we're not white in reference to hue, because white is not a color. We're still white. Have you noticed how far-reaching that lie has been? In that Africans today, y'all in Guyana as well, would prefer to serve a white lie called Jesus than the true Hebrew Messiah called Yeshua. What does that have to do with Noah Lyles and the NBA? Everything. Because I'm telling you how they function. They would look you square in the eye and lie. The USA said to you, you remember this? That Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. We have to go and kill him and fight, as a matter of fact, in Iraq, because they have weapons of mass destruction. Meaning they can kill thousands upon thousands of people at the push of one button. And persons were celebrating Gulf War. Remember the Gulf War? Right. And Colin Powell was a general who was lauded as being the great man, this great warrior who's going to free us of Saddam Hussein's terror. Tony Blair, who you all see with Jaglu smile up today, Tony Blair should be in a jail, and he should be tried and sentenced to death. Because he was one who participated in the Gulf War too and said, yes, they have weapons of mass destruction, let's kill them. Let's deal with the Iraqis. And they bombed the Iraqis. They killed thousands of Iraqis. Then Colin Powell said it was a mistake. Because when they sent the people in, they found nobody. Nobody there having any weapons of mass destruction. George Bush wasn't tried in the International Criminal Court. They didn't even pay the Iraqis recompense or reparation. Colin Powell wasn't tried for lying. Tony Blair is still hopping around the place as if he is a leader of one of the best prime ministers. Do you all get the point yet? They lie to your face and you have to accept that lie or else. There are teams in the United States that would compete in an 82-game cycle, and those who have the best record would compete in what is called the National Basketball Association's playoff. Tell me how that becomes the national, or how you become from that a world champion. Further to that, the NFL is worst. The National Football League, the NFL, is worst because there's no other country that plays American football. We call in the NFL, with the NFL, like the NFL. No, you have the Canadian League and stuff, but they don't go hardcore like the NFL. Rugby is not American football, not National Football League. They have their own rules. The National Football League has their own rules. Yet you telling me that when you win, when the Seattle Seahawks won, or these guys, you're the world champion. New York Giants are the world champion. How are you a world champion when you are playing in the National Football League and it's confined to the USA? No other country plays. Y'all tell me how that makes sense. So Gerald said, I understand where you're going with this, Apostle, but honestly, Noah Lyles' interest has nothing to do with bigotry. It's all about him and magnifying his accomplishments. Something that Tyson Gates did, something that Usain Bolt did, and never really sought the need to diminish another sports accomplishment. You're world champion, respect and manners for that. You see, Gerald, we're looking at this from two different perspectives. And I'm saying to you that Noah Lyles has the right to discredit the NBA for saying that those who are champions there are world champions. He has every right to do it. And you don't deplete a man's right to highlight his accomplishments if he's thinking, as he said, he's saddened by the thought that he had to compete with the whole world. Let's get this point clear, Gerald. When Noah won that 100 meters, it wasn't just about the 8 of them in the race or the 9. It was about those who had to run to try to qualify, including Archibald and all them in the heats. It has those who didn't even make it to the stadium because they didn't qualify in reference to timing. He competed against every 100-meter runner in the world, and he has won. He has a right to sit and think about the fact that the National Basketball Association are a few teams that get together to play in the USA, as they describe as, rightly so, the National Basketball Association is responsible for basketball professionally in the USA alone. Now come on. He has a right to highlight his accomplishment in comparison to the garbage called the NBA and this World Championship business. Give him that right. And at some point, hopefully somebody gets the guts to say it's the truth. How could Lionel Messi, as much as I don't like the whole foolishness surrounding Messi, because he's not anybody to be compared with Pele and these people. We all get mad, fine, I don't care. That's my view. And you could see that they had to give him the FIFA World Championship if you saw what they did, the referee did to France. And I'm glad that France lose, but I didn't, of course, I don't want Argentina to win either, because they're both heavily racist. If you don't know, Argentina wiped out black people. Totally eliminated them. You name one black player in the Argentina team now, in reference to those who have hard, kinky hair. France had Africa playing on the field. Mbappe is from Cameroon. You have Algerians, Moroccans, all them playing for France. So I'm glad none of them. I wish both could have lost, but two can't lose the finals. But let's get the facts straight. Lionel Messi is called the world champion in football. You know why? Because they beat the world. I know some of y'all could like Argentina. Argentina is one of the most racist, wicked, stupid people you have in the world. They have eliminated black people. Can you name one who looks like me who plays for Argentina? Go and check and find out what happened to them. As I said, this goes beyond what Noah Lyles said. It has a lot to do with bigotry across the world. So France is telling y'all, and I'm going somewhere with this. France at the World Cup said, listen, we have got 11 Africans on the field, and that's France playing. And y'all say, yes, that's France. France. You get the point yet? These people have got, Mbappe was born in Cameroon. He's a Cameroonian. And these people have the face to look you square in the eyes and tell you, these 11 African hardcore black men on this field are from France. They're French. They're not African. And if they win, France would have won. And you clap, yes, France won. Do you understand the bigotry involved in how these people function? Look at the World Championships. You see people with hardcore African name running for Holland. Where's her son from? The girl who lost. Huh? When you see people like Ball and these people running, where do you think they came from? The USA and others are now saying, if you could perform well, you are a US citizen. Come and run for us. That's the only grounds you could, if you could play soccer well, come, play for us. And you do not see the issue here, apparently some of y'all. This is bigger than Noah Lyles. What Noah did is Noah caused the Côôns to come out and show you that, listen, we are black, but we'll attack a black man if he talks, so we can be called good in the white man's book. That's the point I'm making to y'all. We're black, but in order to sit well in the NBA owner's book, we have to attack a black man who talks out of turn. So let's defend the NBA and say it's the world. But when the white man Popovich, who's not American by the way, when Greg Popovich said, hey, you can't call this any world championship, he won 2 or 3. How many? He won 2 with David Robinson, and 1 with David Robinson, 2 with Duncan, I think it is. You all know the number. I think it's 4 championships they have so far. But Pop said, listen, you can't call this the NBA, the World Championship, because we're only playing in the USA. Why y'all didn't attack him then? Why the Côôns didn't jump on Popovich then when he said that? Argentina? I am appealing to people tonight. Y'all need to know your history. Even you East Indian Guyanese, I tell you already, you need to know your history. The British don't like you. Jagdeen Ali sucking up to Tony Blair when the British raped India. But Ali couldn't go to hear, rightfully so, Gladson's apology. But he could hook up with Tony Blair, whose country would have raped India for 300 years. Depleted India, made it a poor nation until he kicked them out. 5 championships, that's right. So I'm chatting with Gerald tonight. Let me see what Gerald has to say here. Apostle, but if we were to put the world against the USA, what would be the outcome of that? The NBA is a true measuring stick of the basketball in the world. Scouts pick the best from around the world to play there. Embiid, Giannis, Doncic. Apostle. No, Apostle, it's not about defense. It's about logic behind what he's saying and the relevance. I'm glad you raised that point. So, Gerald, let me dissect your point. Do you know, Gerald? You said it. Scouts pick people from around the world. So let's reason here. Is it accurate to say that only the best people get to the NBA? Is it possible for a scout to bypass somebody and not select them? Not choose them to say, listen, you need to see this guy? Do you know there are people who they said would have been better than Jordan but never got a chance to play in the NBA? Do you know that? Do you know that at one time, Gerald, there was a feeder program? Okay, so you know, you like sports? I have to talk to you like this. Let me talk to you about this. Do you know at one time in the NBA you had to go to college before you could qualify to play in the NBA? You know that? You had to go to college, and it was specifically for US college graduates to play. Okay, so let's discuss that then, Gerald. When the NBA didn't have the foreign players playing in it, were they the best in the world? Let's not forget that they were beaten. When they matched the players in that's why I told you, when they matched the players in the college with other players across the world, the USA was battered. Let's go further. Are you aware that you had what they now call the Euro dribble? Because the rules were different in basketball. Let's just deal with basketball. And many players in the NBA were not fundamentally strong to play in the European standard and other international standards, FIBA. But let's get back to what you were saying. There was a time in the NBA when only American players were playing. Gerald, so was that the best team in the world when only Americans were playing? Do you know why they had to open up the league? Because when they saw the likes of Ginobili and these people and Tony Parker, they couldn't believe. Don't forget that even Israel, China, and other places had a very dominant team. When they saw Yao Ming and these guys, they said, hey, we need to have these people coming over here. When they saw the dominance of certain African players and how big they were, they said, no, we need these guys over here. So it wasn't about anything being open here. Oh, now you're talking about Embiid. Embiid came in a season when the NBA opened itself to international basketball, to other players. It wasn't so before. So before, Gerald, before they opened up to accept international players, were they the best in the world? Huh? And you prove my point, because Giannis Antetokounmpo from Greece was the MVP. He's not American. Gerald, now you see, now once you get into supposition, I don't debate anymore. Once you tell me that you sure if they play they'll be better, I don't do that because he didn't play. So as a young man, I'm talking to you. I don't venture into suppositions and arguments because it's not proven. I'm a scientist by nature. So if you can't test what you say, it's not going to work. All right? So I'm not saying if you had put them, they would have won. They didn't play, they didn't win. When it was just USA alone and you didn't have an open market per se, you can't say they were the best in the world because it was just USA players playing there. Even now, the scouts would not pick the best. They pick those who are most suited for the National Basketball Association. Don't do that, Gerald. Don't do that. The scouts do not always pick the best. They find those who are most suited for. For example, let me prove to you. For example, Gerald, if you begin now in the NBA to speak up for black people, they would cut you. You lose a contract easily in some instances. You can lose your contract and not be signed with a team. Does that mean you're not good enough to play in the NBA? If they find a man like me talking as much as I talk against USA, I would not be accepted in the league. It doesn't matter how well I play because I'm not good for marketing. Come on, Gerald. Who won the most Olympics medals in basketball? Are you asking? Are we talking basketball here? Because I don't know which one you say. Let's talk about Olympics. What are we talking about Olympics? I saw you till it says something. Where is it? I want to have a little chat with you all tonight because this thing is really upsetting me. The best footballers in the world play in the English Premier League or La Liga, correct? But when the team in a championship, they're either Premier League champions or Liga champions. They're not world champions. You totally get the point. But Gerald is having the discussion. Okay, Gerald, remember what I told you. There was a time, and I know you're younger than me, so at my old age, I'm free to talk. There was a time when and I give you the history. The USA went to the Olympics and they were beaten. I think this is 88. They were embarrassed. That's when Jordan and others said, listen, this can't go down like that. They had to make adjustments at the International Olympic Committee level. You hear me? Because you are only supposed to compete at the Olympics then if you are an amateur. And they said, no, we can't do this. So they had to make an adjustment because, again, of US bigotry, Gerald. They made an adjustment to the rules to allow professional basketball players to play in the Olympics. Then you had Jordan, Barkley, Robinson, Malone, and these terrors. And I said it. Reg, call your mama or kind of see what's up with them, please. I said it. That when they got to the Olympics, they battered all of the other teams. But to get to the Olympics, they had to qualify, Gerald. They had to play to qualify to get there. I just said on the broadcast, I agree. In that instance, they were the best in the world. Why? Because they qualified to play. You with me? Now you tell me when did Golden State Warriors play against France? No other person. Only US citizens played against France or against Nigeria or against Israel or against China. When do we have on a consistent basis clubs playing against each other, and the NBA teams are going there to play, to say we're the best club in the world. When do they do that, Gerald? So I have admitted here, I said it, that when the Dream Team was formed, they won. And they proved then that they were the best. That's a fact. But let's not forget that thereafter they began to open the market for international players to come in. No, let Gerald is free to talk. I don't have an issue with people. Listen, some of y'all don't understand me. I have an issue to have discussions. I have an issue to having discussions with people. Gerald Gravesand has a right to chat. He doesn't have to agree with me. But we're chatting here because I want to establish the point. The point I'm making to y'all is about the bigotry at work in the USA. Even with the International Olympic Committee, they made them. Alright, Gerald, so let's go to what you're saying. Because you're making my point all the time. The Dream Team, and the US, other teams with Kobe and LeBron and so on, the won gold medals. Let me help you, Gerald. Let me help you with this, if I can. Do you know what the fact is? It was not an NBA team, Gerald. They picked players from various teams to go to play. They did take the Chicago Bulls alone to play at the Olympics. Are you home, Gerald? Did they take the Golden State Warriors and say, since you won, we'll only have, and no non-US person could play for the Golden State Warriors. All right. Only US people could go play the Olympics. Do I make my point? So if the Chicago Bulls or the Golden State Warriors or the Denver Nuggets are the world champions, how are they not playing at the Olympics as the Denver Nuggets? How is it that you go pick various players from different teams and say we're going to make a dream team to represent USA, but then this Chicago team is the best team in the world? How does that stand to reason, Gerald? David Robinson did not play for the Chicago Bulls, but he went to represent USA along with Jordan. Charles Barkley was playing for, I think, Philadelphia or Portland Trailblazers by then. So hold on. You pick people from different teams, make one team and say go to the Olympics and represent us, and that's called the world champion, the best team in the end. Come on. Come on. It's not the best team because they made a team outside of that to send them that way. That don't fly by me. And you can't say that because you have the best players in the world of the NBA that makes the NBA champion the world champion. It doesn't stand to reason. Because the European Football League has got the best players in the world. Are they called world champions when they win the Europa football, UEFA Championship football? No. The bigotry is in your face, and we have to deal with the bigotry that we see. So Noah Lyles was right. The NBA champion is not a world champion. There's no reasoning in this that can go beyond that. It is nonsensical. The best players in the world are not world champions. They're the best players in the world. The country goes to represent at football. So it's Brazil, Argentina, Cameroon, not Guyana. Jamaica got there at one time, Trinidad. They are called world champions because they defeated every other country in the world to win. Don't tell me foolishness about Golden State Warriors are world champion and Denver Nuggets are world champions. They're not. They're champions of the NBA. But the bigotry, I say again, is that, listen, we have to present ourselves as the best in the world. And people must call us that. So call us world champions when we haven't played anybody else in the world. No. I am seeing Somebody said Noah Lyles is a hater and dumb. And Gerald says correct. What makes him a hater? Gerald, how does someone telling you the truth make them a hater? So was Greg Popovich a hater? Because you haven't addressed that yet. You all notice how Gerald has hopped beyond the Greg Popovich situation. Noah is black, and they fired shots at Noah. Greg Popovich is white, and Popovich said it since 2010. Listen to me. We are not world champions because we have not played teams in the world. We played in the NBA. How is it that y'all in Jumbo say Popovich is a hater? So the coach who won the championship is a hater? That makes sense to y'all? Greg Popovich, who won the championship, said we are not world champions. We're champions of the National Basketball Association because this is US basketball we're playing. So Pop is a hater. How does telling you the truth make somebody a hater? All right. So just for two seconds, let me give these young men an opportunity to ventilate their thoughts. Gerald and whoever else, I don't see the person's name properly. Okay. Is Noah Lyles the world champion? See, Mel even came in. A US citizen tell you all it doesn't make sense. Who's this person? Man, y'all need to have proper name, man. We are legion, we are many. What's wrong with you? What kind of handle you got coming here arguing foolishness? Go on, go away. I wouldn't even waste my time with you because your handle don't make sense. Right. Is Noah Lyles the world champion at 100 meters? Yes, Gerald, fine. And others, okay, fine. What makes Noah Lyles a world champion, Gerald? What? What qualifies Noah to say that he's the world champion at 100 meters for men? What? Did he compete against every other man in the world who's a sprinter? Not necessarily directly so, but as I said, you have qualifying time. If you make the qualifying time, then you go up a notch. Emmanuel Archibald from Guyana made the qualifying time, but he lost in the heats. Hence, he didn't get to that stage where Noah was. So to make it to the finals, then it means you have to compete by timing. Okay, fine. So he did. Now, Gerald, since you're defending the cause of these people, can you say to me, Gerald Grizzandi, that the Denver Nuggets are champions of the world in basketball? Can you say that? Tell me. Noah Lyles is world champion. He competed against people from various countries across the world. Can you tell me, Gerald Grizzandi, whether the Denver Nuggets are champions of the world in basketball? And I want you to answer me honestly, as Yahweh is your judge. Tell me please, Gerald, can you say that the Denver Nuggets or the Golden State Warriors or Los Angeles Lakers are champions of the world in basketball? And then I hope you can type your criteria for saying that, like Charlemagne did. Bye, Charlene. See ya. Are they champions? The focus of my broadcast is bigotry and the Côôns who have to come out to defend garbage. Gerald said, Apostle, do different players from different countries play on Denver? Man, come on, man, ask you a straightforward question, man. Oh, jeepers. Oh, Gerald. Come on, man. I asked you a basic question. Noah was world champion because he competed at the world championships against other people. Can you say Denver Nuggets are world champions? No, you can't. Be honest. This is simple. You can't have a world champion in an... And this is basic. This is basic common sense. You cannot have a world champion in a national league. I told you this in the beginning. This elementary. You cannot have a world champion in a national league. All right, let me bring it to Guyana then. In Guyana, we have got what they call it, the club thing. I stopped playing football so long. Okay, so you have football playing in Guyana. I want you all to tell me, please, for heaven's sake, those who won the football in the national competition in Guyana are world champions, or only USA could do that. So if you have the best team in Guyana playing here, do you say that's the best team in the world? Is that fair? When we play in the Guyana Football Federation game and we win the championship in Guyana, are we the best team in the world? It doesn't matter if you have the best players in the world. It doesn't make you the champion of the world. You can have the best players in the world and still lose. Have you forgotten when I'm the USA relay team? You forgot what happened when Britain beat them? You had the best. You had Maurice Green and all these guys and they lost. Your memory kind of shallow, Gerald. Having the best players in the world doesn't make you the world champion. France had a far better team than Argentina. 10 times better. On paper, but they lost. It happened only the other day. Upsets happen. So if you get upset in the finals, you're still a champion of the world. Man, Gerald, I am listening to you anymore. You playing around right now. The bigotry, I speak to saints and friends. The bigotry is disgusting. The bigotry is disrespectful, and you all need to see that. Where people could tell you all, and this is about dominance. You need to understand what I'm saying to you. The USA wants you to feel that they are dominant in everything. Hence, we're going to make you say that we're the best in the world, even though we haven't competed with anybody in the world. You have to say what we tell you to say. And if you don't say what we tell you to say, we have agents who are going to come and deal with you. Just like Jagdios are trolling donkeys, like Stephen King and those who come on my page. They would look you square in the eye, Irfan Ali. I'm going there with you all tonight because this is all tied into something here. Irfan Ali had the guts to say that Norton should confess his sins. That's what he said. I hope you all saw the clip. He said if the Bible says he must confess his sins. So all he wants Norton to do is to confess that they tried to rig election. This guy is insane. When the PNC or APNU, whatever they call himself, went to court to say, hey, we have 2 petitions here to prove that the PPP rigged the election, Ali and others said, no, we don't want to see, they fought all the way to the CCJ almost to say, no, don't have these things heard in the court, no way. And this intellectual dwarf is saying that Norton and others should say or confess that they tried to rig the election. So why you stop them from proving themselves to be riggers in the court of law? That's the PPP strategy, the same thing whereby they would look you in the face and lie and you have to accept the lie. It's the same thing. This is where the US would tell you all that they are into democracy. You have heard that? We believe in the will of the people. Yes, they do. They say that. And then they have the guts to tell you as well that if the people in Guyana go to the court and petition the court to rule on the elections, Pompeo said they won't respect what the court said. But they respect the rule of law. Do you all remember this? Remember that? The US said they believe in democracy and the will of the people. But the same people would go into another country and overthrow a ruler and put in who they want. And Trump was asking for that to happen, which is why he was mad at Granger, because Granger didn't agree with it. When they spoke to regime change in Latin America and South America, Trump wanted to overthrow people and put them out by various means. Hence Granger had to go. That's what we're dealing with here. Let's speak to bigotry and lies. The people came and told y'all, I told you that. Went to Africa and told the Africans, listen, Jesus is white. Angels are white. God is white. The devil is black. Now imagine looking at black man and say, listen, you are represented in the Bible by the devil. You need a savior. We the white missionaries, our skin isn't white, but call us white. And then they presented to you a Europeanized gospel, where you have Peter, James, John, Andrew, Thomas, Philip. You have all of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, all European names. Why? And they tell you accept it as the truth. Accept it as the truth. You do not foresee yet the bigotry here? You don't foresee the bigotry? Judas, black. I told y'all there's a movie called Jesus Christ Superstar. Maybe you should go and check it out and see what I'm telling you. Jesus in the movie, according to what they call the thing, was white. 11 disciples were white, bearing white names. One named Judas was black. And you black people would never understand that apparently until you die. Hell, you can't get it through your head yet? These people showed you in a movie. I watched it as a boy. I have the soundtrack for it. And I said something wrong here. Something is wrong here. Jesus is white in the movie called Jesus Christ Superstar. 11 disciples are white. And the only one who's black is Judas. And that was shown across movie theaters in the world. Why? There's a system I've learned, and I'm grateful that I've learned it as a young man, and I'm seeing it now that I've gotten older. It's a system used in reference to how deception is to function. And here's the system. Show them the glaring truth. Put it in their faces. And in their own minds they think, this is too obvious to be the case. So when they put a white Jesus before the East Indians, before the Africans, they put it in your face, and then put a black Judas, you would say, oh, Judas black. Exactly, Brother T. And Judas played that part in the movie, and he was happy with it. No problem. He got a chance to be a character in a movie. He should have refused. And if it were me, my first question would have been, why I can't be Jesus? And I know they won't give me the role. The moment he had said, so why can't I be Jesus? That's it, you fired. Find another black one who will accept his place as Judas. But I'm saying something to you all that goes beyond what Noah has said. The other thing is where you see, as soon, even with me, as soon as a man of my color comes to tell you, you are better, you are greater than what people say you are. You are a chosen race of people. No, who thinks he is? You despise being called special. Yahweh has covenant with only one nation, and it's called Israel. Nobody else. Not those fake Jews either. Not the Ashkenazis. from the Caucasus Mountains, not them. Yahweh has covenant with a nation of Hebrew people. The only nation. Anybody else has been put into that nation. And you would hear that about yourself and say, no, 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 no. 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 You were taught to hate yourself. And you were taught, like Charlemagne, the god of these little daft clowns, to think that the more I can attack someone who stands for himself, the better off I am. Sha'Carri Richardson has grown, and I really applaud the stand she took at this World Championship. And some of y'all may have missed what she said. She said the media had, and they dealt with her severely. Some of y'all don't know this, and that's what I'm talking about sports tonight, but show you the bigger picture. Sha'Carri's mother died, and I remember that. She smoked weed, a plant, to relieve herself because she just lost her mother. She went and ran the US Championship. She won, and then they said, okay then, we found marijuana in your urine, so you're banned for 1 month. They ensured she could not get to run at the Olympics. You're banned. You can't go here. Another white girl was found with a banned substance, not marijuana, a performance-enhancing drug, and they let her compete. And black people don't see the problem. The media didn't say Sha'Carri's mother died. Sha'Carri was in grief. Sha'Carri should be considered to have used this for therapy. It doesn't enhance your performance 1 month later. They stopped her. She was even qualified to run the relays, and they said, no, you can't go there. The US prevented her from going. A white girl was found with a performance-enhancing drug and was allowed to compete in the very same Olympics. But y'all don't see that as a problem. Some of you. Huh? So Sha'Carri came this time and told them, y'all media people have done so much to me that I know who you are. And she said, I'm representing the people who stood up for me, the people who believed in me, and then this big one here, she said, the people who look like me. And boy, were they uncomfortable. I don't agree with everything she did, but oh, when some white journalists were calling, she said, no, thank you, I'm not on y'all. And it hurt them, because how dare this black girl come and talk to us when we call her? But she made a point. She said, I'm representing the people who look like me, because I know y'all. And I know what you stand for and how you treat me. I do not subscribe to being racist across the board. I don't believe in hating anybody because of their ethnicity. But I believe in sussing out or discerning what's in people and deal with them according to that. And I know what the US is about. Even in sports, you have to know your place. What the woman told LeBron James, shut up and dribble. Remember that? You remember when LeBron was son of George Floyd and all that? What did the white woman tell him? Shut up and dribble. Like some of y'all memory shallow, huh? That's all you do, LeBron. Bounce this ball and don't talk. Do you remember that? Do you remember when Kyrie Irving just simply posted a simple link to a movie that Durant and all them had to back away, had to back off, and don't go too hard in this statement right here on this situation? The bigotry is before your eyes, and it's too glaring for somebody else to deal with it. Do you remember? Some of y'all wouldn't remember these things now. Do you know there was a time when Germany went to play football? It's not soccer. And 100% of the German team would have been white people? Some of y'all too young to know this. But I want to talk about bigotry tonight. Do you know the USA went to play football and the whole team would have been white? Then they discovered that they were being beaten. And now do you know that there are Africans who play for Germany as well? Black people? At least 6 or more of them. Do you know that the USA, for example, Eddie Pope couldn't even speak English. But his mother, they traced some long lineage rope and say, oh, you have somebody who wasn't a US citizen, so you are a US citizen. And do you know the USA who was so honest, put somebody to write Eddie Pope's citizenship exam? He didn't know English. And that's why the media used to have to avoid, they used to have to shield Eddie from the media, because he couldn't speak English. Talk to me. Why are they doing that? Because they know that in football, what they call soccer, you can't be called world champion because Messi went to Miami and Messi is now winning in Miami, so Messi is no. In football, you can't be winning in the USA and be called the world champion. So Major League Soccer can't have the champion there saying they're world champions. I wonder why. How is it in the NBA, when you win, you call the world champion, but in MLS, which is Major League Soccer, you can't be called world champion? Come on, Gerald, come to the front of the class. In the same country, the basketball team that wins in the NBA is called the world champion. But in the same country, the Major League Soccer team that wins is not called the world champion. I wonder why. So the US knows the rule. Same thing with cricket. In cricket, you see what they're doing? They're trying to buy players now to become US citizens to play for them. And by the way, this is about TV rights as well, and controlling the sports market. Because if you have the best team in the world, you have more coverage. See what happened to Cristiano Ronaldo? He went to Saudi Arabia and the TV rating went up by 640%. That's money. That's l'argent. Dinero. Moulin. That's money. The NBA opened its league because if they know that if they bring players from Greece, from France, from Argentina, from Africa, then more people click the TV in their nations to watch it. They subscribe to watch it. So they made an economic move. Revenue. They didn't like black people. But the bigots know that if we are to have viewership, we have to have some way of winning. The Germans, as racist as they are, have black people playing for them. The French have an entire African team playing for them. They ain't got shame. Japan got Africans playing. You think they care? They don't care. And they would look you in your face and tell you that you must call the French football team French, not African. And I close by telling you this. With Niger, okay, so Gerald say Argentina did not completely cleanse of black. They have less than 25%. And you tell us why. You say they were not completely cleansed of black, Gerald. You aren't addressing the fact that they wiped out black people from Argentina. They've pushed them out of every high-ranking strata of society. That's how you wipe a people out. They have no political representation in Argentina. Can you name one black Argentinian president for me, please? They're not qualified to be there? Name one black Argentinian football player, Gerald. One. Just one. To wipe a people out doesn't mean that you have zero left. It means they are so few that they have absolutely no power. And if you don't know, this happens to Guyana. See, Darren told you 150,000 black people live in Argentina, where there are millions. What's the population? About 20-some million. Check it for me. Check it. Somebody check the population of Argentina and put it on the screen for me, please. I'll wait. There are very few African people living in Argentina, and they are oppressed, suppressed. They have to try to fight for their right. They have no rights whatsoever. Very little, if any. And I was saying to you, Gerald and others, in Guyana, and you could be uncomfortable, some of you, with what I've said to you, that's exactly what this racist regime is doing. If you don't know, they have wiped out the Africans with what I call, I said it and others are following, I like the terminology they're using, economic genocide. The PPP knows at the top, you can't kill every African in Guyana. You can't kill all the black people, because they're black too. But in context, you can't kill all the black man. What you have to do is kill them in another way. How? If you eliminate their ability to earn as much as you, they'll always be under you economically. That's the plan. So out of 45.8 million people in Argentina, y'all tell me why you can't find one black man to be president and one black player in the football team? Huh? Tell me, you Argentinian fans. I never support Argentina. Never. Under any circumstance. And you've never heard Messi speak about those black people in Argentina and how they were treated. Never. Because he's okay with the system. I will never support Argentina. Because for me it's not sports. This is life. I don't watch the NBA because I see slavery. And some of y'all don't know it. When the woman told LeBron to shut up and dribble, and when Kyrie Irving wasn't even allowed to share a link, I said, hell to you, I'm never watching y'all. I don't watch the NBA because it's a sham. It's a joke, and it's slavery. Do you know how hard people have to fight now to even be a part owning a team? A black person in the NBA? The association, if you don't know, let me help you all. There's what you call the NBA Owners Association, and if you don't know, you have to have permission from the owners to be an owner. Oh, you only know that, some of you have. So the white men who own the NBA teams, the major teams, they vote if they want you in. But they had to take Jordan in. You know why? Because Jordan is a money magnet. And if they only shut out Michael Jordan, the NBA is shut down. They know it. And they know that Jordan will bring that brand, that name, and carry weight and have sales. So the Jordan shoes are still being sold like crazy. They know money. And they also know that Jordan will not talk out of turn. So all y'all who support this NBA stuff, come and talk to me tonight. Tell me why you must have an association of owners, white people, who decide on whether you, a black man, can come and own a team in here. And you're not majority owner either. Why does that happen? Same thing in the NFL. Same thing in the National Football League. White men decide that you are not going to come here and own any team. You could coach, but you're not owning anything. Is that okay with you all? I don't watch these things because what you see as sport, I see as slavery. And they sit in the VIP booth, like Jeannie Buss and them, in the owner's booth, and look down on their subjects. They tell you what you can say, what you cannot say. They tell you what you can wear and what you cannot wear. You're not allowed to do what you want. Do you know that there's a clause you can't even ride a motorcycle or you lose your contract? Huh? Because you are threatening not your well-being, you're threatening their ability to earn through you. So as I close, I'm telling you, Guyana, South America, Guyana in South America, we have got the same thing. But now you can't pull guns and kill every African Guyanese. So what you do is you kill them economically.
You kill them socially. That is why, if y'all don't see it, in Nissil, for example, when you remove Calvin Heath London, who did they put? Another African? There's an African there in there who's qualified to lead Nissil. They didn't put him. You put an Indian who's loyal to the PPP. Guy Suko, tell me when's the last time you heard Guy Suko having a black CEO? Tell me when, please. And they're keeping Guy Suko afloat. Bauxite in Côôns, dead. Jaguars, we don't have time for that. We're going to spend, we're not going to put any money there. But Guy Suko could get 4 billion, 6 billion, 10 billion, 9 billion, 20 billion or more in a year. But Côôns and Araima, which rely entirely to some extent on bauxite, nope, we are not going to put any money there for y'all. It's a waste of time. But it makes sense to Jagdeo to support a whole country a failing sugar industry because he knows. And you see who they put at the top? Do you see who's at the top? Get uncomfortable tonight. Get uncomfortable tonight, please. I want you to get uncomfortable. Who is the CEO, the Chief Education Officer of Guyana? And how was the person selected? Tell me how. All the African faces in education who were DCEOs, deputy CEOs, just beneath the one, Hudson. When Hudson was sent home, boop, who showed up? Who was not a DCEO, by the way. And he didn't appoint himself. I'm just saying that Saddam Hussein didn't put himself there. Somebody had to handpick him, put him there. Nissil is responsible for all transactions, all regarding lands and so on in this country. All! Apart from lands and surveys. But when it comes to doing business, Nissil is it. Why couldn't you find a black man to lead Nissil, Jagdeo? Oh, this is not racist. I'm telling you what you are the racist one because you know just what you're doing. And you are strategically doing it. You are eliminating the Africans socially. What else are you doing to them? You ensure that when you have got, for example, the president as he's called, is walking through, I tell you all this, look at all the construction sites. They finally had to admit. For years I've been telling you all this and they said, oh, London is crazy, London is mad. But now they're admitting though. Now the PP has admitted, because they can't lie anymore, that Africans are not bidding for certain contracts because they can't. They don't qualify for it. In this country, of all places, we don't qualify for can you imagine? As a people in your own country, you're being told that you don't qualify to bid for a contract? So let's ask Barr to tell us what disqualifies us, since the Crown went to say that Courtney Ben was shut out on the PNC, but Courtney Ben got contract from them. Oh, Courtney Ben is one person. Is Courtney Ben all African Guyanese? Huh? When you get uncomfortable about it, you always come up with some silly reasoning. Is Courtney Ben all African contractors? Tell us about the others. So you are being eliminated socially in this country. Your faces aren't being shown as Africans where wealth is concerned. It is not. An African Guyanese is not the face or numbered among the face of wealth. Just know that. You're not. So the Indian group, they've been presented as the contractors and building Expo. Who do you see? Who do you see are responsible for building Guyana? What's this? And while building Expo is going on, guess what we have on the black side? Jam zone. Walk in your bikini, show your behind and your vagina and your whole butt outside, and yeah, jam zone. Drink liquor, carry on, because it's black people. You will party, you'll drink liquor, you'll drive and kill yourself. That's you. And while you're doing that, we have got an international building expo where we demonstrate the heavy equipment. We show that we can build your house. We show we have the most advanced technology, and we have our faces there as Indian people, showing you what Indo-Guyana is representing Guyana. And at the same time, jam zone, because black people have been eliminated in reference to being at the top of the social ladder. You are now called party animals, and you're wild, you stink and dirty. That's what you are. And that's what some of you continue to accept. Is it not interesting that you who are at the top of the educational ladder, you are not represented at the top in education in this country? Huh? No, truth doesn't make me racist. Truth makes me real. And you're uncomfortable about it. Truth doesn't make me racist. Truth makes me real, and that's the truth. So this discussion was beyond Noah Lyles. It's to show you your harsh reality and what you are uncomfortable about facing. Y'all stop this stupid partying thing. Stop it. Stop it. Get with the program, understand. And that's what Noah was saying. And get the point. You're not going to create some narrative by which I'm a slave. No. Let's deal with the things from, and Sha'Carri has got it. She said, no, I'm representing those who look like me. And oh, I must applaud. They were hurt to see Shelley and Fraser Price, Sharika Jackson, Sha'Carri Richardson hugging and laughing and playing with each other. We cool. Oh, they couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle the sight of seeing these three dominating females, all Africans, hugging each other and say, this is track. We're not enemies. Look how Sharika Rana was holding, Sha'Carri was holding onto Sharika when she won the 200 meters. They were in the same race. But in the Olympics and before the Olympics, of course, Sha'Carri was out of place. But she said she got with it, she understood. They were taunting her and stuff like that, remembers Elaine Thompson and Hera? But this time, the girls came out and showed the world, we're not against each other. And then when they attacked Noah, Sha'Carri said, no, I'm with Noah on this one here. Y'all don't go here. Don't go there. Sha'Carri said, no, don't go here. Because Noah is right. And the Côôns then said, Stephen A. Smith and those black ones that are coming to attack them because the white man wouldn't attack them because they were exposed. You use the black ones, the Côôns, to come and say, we'll fight. You stay in the back, Màssà, we'll represent you in front, Màssà. And that's what's happening in Guyana. You have got some black ones who say, don't listen to London, man. London, and what do you get? $100,000 a contract for $6 million, and all you get is $200,000 because you have to give the minister 50%, you have to give the permanent secretary another 20%, you have to give the boy who get the contract for you or whatever percent, you have to give somebody who got a machinery to lend you, some Indian guy, you have to pay him, and all you're left with out of $6 and $10 million would be $100,000 to spend. And you would come and cost me when the PVP give you $100,000. You're shameful, shameless clown. If you get a contract for $300 million, you don't have it. Because you would fail because of how many people you have to pay before you even start working. You are in a corrupt society because you want to buy a little car. You would cost down your own people and fight for corrupt politicians. And this is not racism, this is fact. This is a fact. I look around and say, hold on, man. How am I only seeing one set of people cleaning drains all the time? What happened? I cut bush. That's all you good for? That's as much as you get? Oh no, I have a jag deal, but I have a jag deal. What do you get? Contract to paint some walls in the school. That's it? That's it? I'm trying to leave y'all, man. I'm really trying to leave y'all. But do you know in Guyana, do you know that in this country, and I have to go with this one, the most technologically advanced school in this country is owned by the Hindus, who are Indian people? Is that by accident? I think it's last year before last. When Vinay Prasad, when they cut the ribbon as head of the Hindu Dharmic Sabha, the most technologically advanced school, air conditioned, all of that, is owned by the Hindus. Because the Hindus understand a caste system. And they came here as Dalits, nobodies. That's what you were, untouchables. You didn't come as anything else. So you create a caste system in this society because you're not accepted in any high class. You're not anything. You are always in India bound to a certain caste. So they're here now. And in Guyana, South America, the state does not own the best school in reference to technology and comfort. Need I say more? Need I say anything else to y'all? Who owns the best school in reference to technology and comfort in this country? Who owns it? Who owns it? Think on that and swallow it. And then tell me why in an oil-rich economy this is your reality. Goodbye.